Hi everyone, it's Alex from Risk Academy, and I wanted to continue a series of videos that give you an alternative take on some of the videos you find on other channels, and in particular this one is in response to a video by Risk Doctor about how should we report risk to stakeholders or shareholders. And again, I seem to have an alternative view on that, so I thought I'll share it with the channel audience. Now, how would you report risk to the shareholders? And I think my simple answer is unless somebody from the shareholders specifically asks you to report a particular risk for some specific reason. For example, there's a change in legislation and the board wants to know, or the stakeholders or the shareholders want to know, how would that change in legislation affect the business. Unless somebody has specifically asked about the information about a particular risk, you should not report risk to the stakeholders. You should not report risk to the stakeholders, because obviously there is a better way. Reporting risks for the sake of reporting risks, or for the sake of showing how well they're mitigated, is all about risk management one. This isn't just not real. In reality, of course, risk should be reported and incorporated into performance reporting, into normal performance reporting. So whatever the management reporting regime in the company is, whatever the management report template is, however the performance against the objectives is reported, risk has to be incorporated into that. So for example, if the management is saying we are 50% of achieving our sales targets, and you have modeled the risks associated with sales and revenue, and you have discovered that in fact the objective has not been met by 50%, or it's not forecasted to be met by 50%, but in fact there's a lot of risk involved, and you're saying some of the contracts are questionable even though they're being sold on paper. Some of the clients are questionable, they may not end up paying for those contracts. You will apply a multiplicating factor, or you would actually run simulation and show the 95% confidence interval. So you would show that the actual performance is not 50%, but somewhere between 35 and 55% with whatever the likely figure that you choose. So reporting risk to the board members seems to be completely unnecessary, because instead you should be incorporating risk information into existing performance reporting. And unless somebody has explicitly asked you about a risk report, you probably shouldn't have it. You probably should not have a separate document dedicated to risk, because instead you should be working with the finance team, with the performance management team, to incorporate your analytics into existing performance management reporting. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Do share them underneath this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the Risk Academy channel on YouTube. See you in the next video.